Sweet. I think we're set up. We're ready to go. It's a little darker in here than it was earlier when I filmed, but I'm not going to be attached to that. Let it go. So my friend and I just filmed for an hour, about maybe longer, about this topic, and I didn't record it, so I'm gonna do this again. I'm not going to remain attached to the feeling that came up when I realized that I didn't push record. I recognize the feeling of frustration, and I'm going to accept that it's there, and I'm not going to hold on to it, and I'm not going to attach myself to it, which is what attachments are. Okay. I think I'm ready. Okay. I was so sad because it was a really good video. Zach and I were on a roll. We had a lot to say, and so it's okay. So I am going to attempt this again by myself. So today, this is sandalwood here. Today, we're going to talk about attachments and aversions. And I just gave you an example of what attachments are. Being attached to stuff that we want. Like, I wanted that video to work. This is balance. But it's okay. Because now I get an opportunity to smell my oils and be in my own space and give my perspective. While learning from my words. Repetition. Practice. It takes practice to learn how to release attachment and aversion. And patience, like what I'm doing right now. My nerves are calming down. Excuse me. I love smells, especially ones that are designed to calm you down, lavender and things like that, to ground you. Because it really helps with your nervous system, your brain chemistry, your body chemistry. And one more, we'll do peppermint. And I just really like peppermint. It doesn't blend really well with the two that I just put on. So I'm just gonna throw it on the back of my neck, of my ears, and here on the artery. And on the veins on the wrists. And you can even put it on, ooh, I like the chest too. Put it on my Opens the lungs up. Peppermint's a good grounding. Love it. And aversions. What are aversions? Aversions are, I don't want this. I don't like that. I can't stand this freaking person. At work just pissed me off and I'm so upset and it drives me crazy. Why am I so upset? Why am I so upset? Why am I so upset? Well, because I can't stand that person. Fuck that person. Because they said this and that and this. Trust me, I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to that. That's why it takes practice. So that's aversion. Attachment is, I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had. I need this. Why can't I have this? And then aversion is, I hate this. This sucks. And a good way, because like whenever anything comes up, it's not the thought. The thought just brings up the feeling. The feeling is what we want to focus on, allowing to be there so that it can release. And it's a little paradoxical because when you hold on to, when you're allowing something to be there, an emotion to be there, and then your mind is saying, if I allow this, then how is it going to let go? Our minds are always trying to figure things out, figure out how things work. But the thing is in order for us to evolve and move past our thoughts and our emotions, we must separate ourselves from them by allowing them to be there. Which means don't attach when our mind is trying to figure this out. That's when we just say, okay, I'm rambling on, I feel like crap. That's cool. All right. Yeah, I do feel like crap. Because usually we are like, I don't want to feel like crap. Why do I feel like crap? I'm so, this sucks. I'm such a bad person. Why do I feel like crap? And just think to yourself the opposite of that. Well, you can think the opposite of that. You can think, I feel great. But then you have that contradictory emotion saying, yeah, right, fuck you. Or your head saying, yeah, right, you don't feel great. So just allow that not feeling great to be there. You know, my stomach is feeling stressed out. And that's okay. All right, my stomach it's feeling stressed out. Right on. See, it's already gone. Now it keeps coming back because I got a little wound up from the video not working. But I can already feel it every time I do it. Now this is great for me because I really needed this right now. So if you're feeling like stressed out right now, you can feel the emotion. Don't think about what it is that's keeping you feeling like shit, like you're getting a divorce or your kids are mad at you or whatever. Just feel the feeling of that, like, okay, I'm hurting. Now breathe and just, okay. Then those thoughts are going to start coming back into your head, like, they said this, or okay, so now that feeling is going to start bottling up again, wherever it's at. Okay. Let those thoughts go. And feel that feeling. You feel the feeling. That feeling of sadness, that heavy feeling. Just breathe into it. Allow it to be there. Don't push against it. Don't attach your mind to it. Don't attach your mind to the thoughts. Even if your mind is still thinking the thoughts, allow those thoughts to pass by without attaching to them. Imagine your thoughts being clouds passing by. And imagine when you start to attach to them. Oh my gosh, my boss said this today. Wham. So visualize that. Visualize, whatever chakras are tightening up, visualize that attaching to that thought, that cloud. Feel what that feels like, okay? Okay, now, let it go. Let that thought, that cloud drift away. Let your chakra open back up and release. Breathe into it. Okay, now, keep breathing. The next thought that comes along, you see it, and you start to go out for it again. Gently pull that back down. Bring your attention back to center. Whichever chakras were trying to grab at that cloud thought, allow to open up, descend back into itself, and breathe. That's a good practice to do whenever you start to, whenever you're having stress about something and you're fixating on certain thoughts. So you can come back to that, and everything is a practice. There's so many ways. Releasing things doesn't have to be a meditative state. It can be done while you're doing dishes. It can be done at work. It can be done in the car. It's a constant practice because emotions are constantly coming up because our minds are always talking. So it's important. I mean, of course, meditating is definitely what's going to teach us how to let go of the clouds and let them just keep going. Our brains are just computers. So they're gonna be talking. It's gonna talk. It's what it does. It's what it was built for. What our mission is to not attach to those thoughts. To not attach, and then people are going to say, well, how can I not attach to thoughts when I have car payments, I have kids, I have all this stuff that I need to worry about? Well, when you worry about that stuff, it's going to stress you out, obviously. And it's going to create more of the same. Because we're keeping that in our mind, we're keeping that focus, that whatever and that's another, let me just stay here. So if I'm focusing on nothing but drama in my family all the time, that is what's going to be in our existence, right? That's it. Focusing right there at that camera, and that's all that exists, that camera, and it won't stop looking at me. But hello, there's this whole other room here still. Allowing your emotions to flow, getting things moving will allow for us to not be attached to things and not be pushing away against things. Just going to be free. That is the true definition of freedom, is not being attached to anything, anyone, and not pushing anyone or anything away. what if we didn't care about anything? Like, not in that way. What if everything that we felt was love? And see, there's so much, and I feel like I should just be talking to Zach about all this stuff, because what we just talked about took about like an hour or an hour and a half. And it was about this. We spoke about Lester Levinson, who's old school, New York. He became enlightened after he found out that he was going to die very shortly. They basically sent him home to die because he was like having congested heart failure, some type of heart disease. And so he decided to come home, and he obviously was devastated. He just wanted to know why. He wanted a higher purpose before he died, And so he started researching just all these different philosophies and things, and none of it worked. And then, and Zach explained this so much better, but so he was thinking, okay, what is it that we all aim for the most? Love, right? We all aim for love with another person. A lot of people think that that's what love is, oh, this other person is going to fulfill me. They're going to make me whole. And then this other person comes into your life, and you're still not really feeling that, or you are, and then they leave, and then you're back in the ruts again. Or they come and you're still not fulfilled. And so Lester started to think to himself, like, so where is this love feeling coming from? Then if it's not coming from them, because they're not fulfilling my love, what is it coming from? It must be within me. Because they're not providing it, and the only time I ever feel it is when I'm focusing on it. So it's within me. And so that was a huge release for him. And that was a big aha moment for him, because Lester was definitely meant to become enlightened in this life, because he did. And that was his first release, conscious release. And then he started working at releasing everything. All his attachments, all his aversions, everything, all his emotions, though, because attachments and aversions only go so far. Let me find the book. I keep looking for it, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Okay, this book is cool. This is from Larry Crane. This was Lester's student, Larry Crane. Larry Crane taught lots of people too. Zach learned from Larry. He actually stayed at Larry Crane's house. Maybe one day he'll tell you that story. But this is really cool. This has all kinds of exercises in it that you can do to attachments and worrying, and attachments to worrying, I keep saying that, aversions to worrying. And then you have that chart down there, and you can write down all. And, when you write things down, it definitely is aha. It's studying, It's practice. That's why everyone feels like shit, because no one works on themselves, which is completely necessary. If you want to, release the emotions. Now, it's okay if you don't. If you come across this and you're like, I don't want to do all that, well, then don't. Because it's not for everybody, Who cares? Don't be attached to that or anything. And what I mean by that, this chart's really cool. Because down here you have all these emotions. All those emotions are linked to these emotions, to these main emotions. They categorize them. And then this is what you want to release. Because some people, when they're releasing, say you're feeling cravings, okay, that's a good one. You're feeling cravings for something yummy or whatever, alcohol. I need to take my own advice right now for that. So you're having cravings and you're feeling that feeling. Oh shoot, I lost it. Hold on. It should be fear, lust. It's probably in lust, cravings. Yep, lust. Okay, so say you're having cravings. Maybe you're feeling fixated on cravings, like I need this. I really crave this beer. And you're really feeling driven to get that beer. All those emotions go into the category of lust. So you can release these emotions down here one by one, but it'll take a lot longer. If you are serious about releasing and you want big change, this is so cool, because if you're like, okay, I feel like shit, and you sit down and you figure out how you're feeling, then you can put it in the category, okay, lust. And then it ends up being wanting control. And then wanting to be safe, secure, to survive. Okay, so that even brings up a feeling in me. So you can focus on the feeling of lust, of the craving feelings, or you can move on to just releasing the thoughts of wanting the beer, releasing the lustful thoughts and the cravings of how it would feel when you get that beer. You can release those, which you can do, but if you don't release all this other stuff too, then you're still going to have this big chunk there. Because you can't get rid of this big chunk or even this big chunk without getting rid of all that. It's like the kinetic chain in anatomy. Everything affects each other. One ailment will affect, other parts of your body, If your liver's messed up, it's going to affect other organs. It's the balance. So, because if you think about it, like say, hold on, let me just keep going. So wanting control. This is lust. Lust is wanting control. Lust is wanting that power. If you take away the feeling of cravings and you feel that, what is that? Or the thoughts of cravings. I'm craving beer. And then you're feeling cravings. Okay, I'm craving. What's that craving like? It's lustful. It's kind of lustful. It's making me feel excited a little bit. Like I just want that. Just feeling that beer in my mouth. It's going to feel so good. Okay, so that's lust. So you can release this by just allowing it to be without giving in to the thoughts. Allow the emotions to be and just love them. Don't think about, oh my gosh, I'm such an alcoholic. I'm always lusting over this beer and craving, and because then you're just going to keep holding on to that thought and you're not going to be able to let that emotion go, which is what our whole main goal is letting that emotion go. Whatever our thoughts bring up emotionally, that is what we want to work on accepting so that it can release, because that's what it wants. Our souls want to be our true selves, but with all these layers around it, it can't be. Our soul wants to express itself, and so does our pain and our love and our fear and all that stuff too. It wants to express itself so that it can leave. Now, I don't mean violently go into a fit and break stuff. No. I mean, go into yourself and realize that it's there and acknowledge it and say, it's okay that you're there. And I love you. And we're going to work this out. And it's not your fault. And you will see how it will just release. That feeling of guilt will just release. And also, releasing love, releasing peace, releasing acceptance. You wouldn't think it, but that is very important too. And so this video isn't super long. I just want to explain real quick why it's important to even release the happy stuff. I've heard teachers even talk about that. Like, I won these awards and I celebrated and it was great. But then I went home and I released it and I didn't hold on to it. I didn't attach myself to it. Because then you make that thing, it's like becomes an idol. You know, that's the reason why we don't want to like worship idols, is because you're putting something in front of you, you know. Cool. You're putting what won you that statue, you know, that freaking award. You're attaching yourself to that. You're making that a identifier of yourself. And that's not you. That's not who you are. So it's important to release that stuff to allow for more to come in. Now, it's not a selfish or greedy thing at all, but it will happen. If you release things, everything, all emotions, just because what happens is you're emptying out that pot. You're emptying out the pot of apples. And these apples are like starting to get a little sour on the bottom, and people keep putting things, the good apples, on top. So we still have things going on underneath us, right? The apples that are bad. But we're meditating and we just won that award, okay? And so we're like, yay, award. And so we attach ourselves to that award, and we start putting these fresh apples, that attachment to the award, on top of the old icky apples. And then all the apples end up the bottom ones become even worse than they were before you put the nice ones on the top. Because now you're just completely ignoring this and you're attaching yourself to this falseness, false identity. So what we are doing when we're releasing is we're, allowing these things to be there. We're making applesauce, We're taking out these apples out of this barrel, and we're making applesauce that's going to nourish us. But at the bottom is this beautiful gold lining that we didn't even know about. We had no clue about this gold lining. And that gold lining is something that we could never imagine. That is Source's love. That's God's love. That is our potential. That is what we could be feeling potentially. But we could never know that love. We could never focus on that love. We could never. And the only way we would ever really be able to feel that love is to allow for all those other emotions to be there so that they can go. Hence the applesauce. Now we're not destroying the apples. We're not throwing the apples away. We're not disrespecting the apples. We're making applesauce to nourish our body so that we can grow strong and happy and loving. It's the same concept, right? We're not fighting our attachments and our aversions. We're not fighting our emotions that come with that. We're allowing them to be there. We're loving them. We're not giving in to them, but we're acknowledging them and making applesauce, almost like making lemonade out of lemons, right? And since we've gotten all those out, we've exposed that gold lining, and that is the goal. So I hope that made sense. This is amazing. It's been 30 minutes. I don't want to go too far into anything else. I really hope that this got through to some people. I will get Zach on here again. I'm so sad that didn't work out, but that's an attachment and I need to let it go. And it's not the thought. It's the emotions. And see, I felt tight in my stomach again when I started thinking about that. And that's what our minds do. Throughout the day, it's going to start thinking about stuff. And all thoughts will create emotions. All thoughts. So that's why meditation is so good. It's such a good practice because it teaches you to, even if you have thoughts, you don't attach to them, so you really don't realize that they're there. Now, being aware of your thoughts is very important. But if you're not attaching to them, it's okay, But if you're attaching to your thoughts and you're not aware of them, then meditation is very good for that. But like I was saying, you don't have to, you can meditate or you can release anytime. Just allow things to be there. Don't push back. If you're in an uncomfortable situation, separate yourself and then go work on what's coming up. It takes practice, it takes patience, and it takes dedication, and it takes self-love, and it takes diligence, and it takes strong people, and I'm not saying people who don't do this aren't strong. I'm just saying it can be challenging because you're facing your emotions, and those emotions can run real deep. They can be very heavy. People have gone through a lot of shit in their lives. People are still going through things. People are hooked on dope. People are stuck in horrible situations. And, so it's all about just doing what you can, right? And giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, and don't attach to the thought that you can't do it, right? Don't attach to that thought. If you think you can't do it, then okay, I guess I think I can't do that. And then let it go. Now, if you're continuously saying that in your head, then you need to bring up the feeling. Why do you think that? Like, not even why do you think that? Bring up the feeling, I don't feel like I can do that. What does it feel like? Does it feel like abandonment, maybe? Does it feel like disappointment? Feel that feeling and let it be there. You don't have to, sometimes you'll realize where it came from when you were a kid. Oh my gosh, that's where it came from. And that can help you release too. But you don't have to think about where it came from. You don't have to attach yourself to any of that. Just allow the feeling to be there. Don't attach yourself to the feeling. Allow it to be there and circulate through your body. And love it. And then another thing that helps me too is also when I'm feeling that icky feeling, I think about God loving me, like putting the hand, not even a hand because there's no hand, but putting the energy of God into that part of me, that healing, loving energy that we all know God is. At least I hope you know that. To help, because God is all loving. I don't care what anybody says. It's our responsibility to bring the love in. Or it's our responsibility to allow that love to shine. It takes time, but we can do it. So anyways, hold on a second. I'm finished here. We will see you soon, okay? Oh, hold on. I remember I wanted to do something real quick. Let me pull my little notes up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a couple cards. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Today, I believe, is the 13th of March. So I'm going to pull some cards that have to do with attachment and aversion. In fact, it doesn't even have to be for this week. This will just be a general ending, a general card reading for the end of the video. Topper, I should say. A topper. So this is for attachments and aversions. So we've got the King of Clubs, the Seven of Spades, and the Six of Diamonds. So King of Clubs. King of Clubs. Let's go here. So clubs are good luck, growth, activity, work, business, social interactions. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Go to King. I should just put this thing on my lap. So the King of Clubs. So it's the card of virtue. Yeah, I'm going to bring this closer. The card of virtue, the leader, a highly intuitive man who will not do anything to compromise integrity or inner truth. He may represent a very good friend, a lifelong companion, and someone who can be trusted and counted on during difficult times. He is honest, open, affectionate, and generous. Well, that's good. I'm going to keep going so I can put this together. Six of Diamonds. In fact, I think it was the Seven of Spades that was next. If not, oh well. Seven of Spades. So destruction, sometimes on purpose. This is the seven. Change, endings, usually seeing the bigger picture. Intentionally like sabotaging possibly. And it's of spades. So realizing that life in our body will fade, physical limits, destruction of the body, that will remind us of our limits. And then Six of Diamonds. And that is fulfillment. Six is the greatest of one fulfillment. That's interesting. The little fulfillment. Ego gets its butt kicked. All right. Okay. Financial success, good investment, something that pays off. Highest success that you deserve for your hard work. Okay, so be humble, be kind, be generous to yourself, to others. Don't attach yourself to anything that would create anything other than this right here. This powerful, loving, and it's king, but this can be, since this is a general reading for all of us, I'm going to say this can be, for all of us. So yes, remain in the, let me bring it back up so I don't miss anything. So remain intuitive. Understand where your heart is coming from and be aware, like I was saying, you may be very romantic and passionate, but don't attach yourself too much to the outcome. Be more accepting of everything that comes up with yourself, with your intuition. And at this point, I feel like I'm just rambling. I think it's because I'm tired, because we did that long video. It's been a couple hours now. And I need some water. Okay, so Seven of Spades. So Seven of Spades is realizing that life in your body will fade, so do not attach yourself to, when I say do not, that's even like a adversion. Do not is an adversion word, right? It's like weird saying do not attach yourself, or yes, it's so weird saying that. This doesn't feel right. But, life is like, there's so many paradoxes, really. Tons of paradoxes. Like you just, like, that's the whole thing. Like, letting go of what our mind is attached to, our beliefs. We believe things that may not be true at all. And just beliefs keep us stuck in this idea of what is when there's so many different possibilities. So then that causes stress, that causes tension, that causes arguments with other people, arguments within yourself. Okay. But anyway, so this represents not being attached to your physical body, allowing yourself to accept the possible lessons that have happened through injury in your body. So if somebody is watching this and they're feeling really down and out, well, you know what? Accept that you're feeling down and out. Accept that your body feels like shit, or you're hurt, or, you know, accept it. Don't attach yourself to why it's hurt, and let that feeling write itself out. You know, put the love of God into that feeling. What would God want you to feel? You know, seriously, ask yourself that, because I think we all know God is all loving. I can say we all know, but that's probably not true. But God is all loving. And so if you put that love of God, that's a different technique to do releasing. You know, if you bring up that feeling of attachment to your injury, attachment to that pain that your body won't let go, if you bring it up and then put the love of God into that feeling, it will definitely release. And it takes practice. 6 of Diamonds. 6 of Diamonds. Let me look. 6 of Diamonds. Financial success, good investment, something that pays off, highest success that you deserve for your hard work, deserving of fulfillment based on one's own actions. That is a perfect card to end this on. Okay, I'm going to read that again. The 6 is the fulfillment card. It's the greatest one of fulfillment. It's the little fulfillment. The ego gets its butt kicked. Worldly fulfillment, healthy. Just don't expect it to be the end all be all. Okay? So you're going to get fulfillment from releasing. You're going to feel so much better. But don't expect stuff, because then you're attaching yourself again. So that's exactly what this card means. I'm going to read it one more time. Okay? 6 of Diamonds, financial success, good investment, something that pays off. Oops. Highest success that you deserve for your hard work. Deserving of fulfillment based on one's own actions. So basically, you get back what you put out. It's cause and effect. Holding on to these emotions is only going to get you more of what causes those kind of emotions. They may be different situations, but it's going to cause similar emotions. People always wonder why they're always attracting the same douchebags all the time. It's because they're holding on to beliefs. They're holding on to these emotions, these ideas of what they've learned. So if you want anything to change, you're going to have to release. And if you don't, it's okay. You know, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's really what's helped me a lot. Like when I started going to my therapist, she started showing me that like everything's fine. Amber, you're reacting normally, and that's all I needed to hear. And then I was able to like forgive myself. Something simple as that. So anyways, I really hope that this video helped you. I really do. Okay? And I love you guys. Okay? Okay.